Hello everybody, Rox here. Thanks for tuning in to the channel again. Today we are going to be talking about something pretty cool, something I'm really passionate about. We're going to be talking about optics, specifically Vortex optics. I've got a Crossfire II here that we're going to be opening up and looking at. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who watched the last video. It received more success than I expected it to for someone whose channel is really new. So thanks again. I absolutely appreciate all the views and stuff. And, you know, as per usual, if you want, like and subscribe, it always helps. All that usual YouTube stuff. Thank you again. In other news, my team actually ended up getting our patches. These are our ISP patches. I'm super happy with them. They look awesome, so thank you to Patch Panel for providing those to us. If you want cool patches, you guys should definitely check them out. They're really nice. So we are going to get right into it. As a side note, I do have a side camera here. I've got a GoPro set up, so I kind of do a different angle. So take a look at that, see how it goes. If there's anything you want me to improve on, let me know. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. So Vortex optics are designed for real guns, as opposed to airsoft. And when it comes to choosing an optic, the cheap lower end optics like your Wish optics or the ones that you get at most stores like locally are usually pretty bad. You have to start going to gun specific stores and spending a little more to get an optic that's quality. The comparison is pretty big. I've done some comparisons before. I'm going to put the pictures down below between one of my other Vortex optics, the STRIKEFIRE II versus the NC Star equivalent, and the STRIKEFIRE II blows it out of the water. The dot is that much clearer. There's nothing around the side of the the glass that like distorts the image. Everything is just better. And when you do that, when you finally make that jump, you're gonna wonder why you ever went with the cheap stuff to begin with. Obviously, the jumping point is gonna be the cost. A comparable optic like this will probably be about $80, whereas this one was $200. But you're getting a far superior product. As well, if something was to break on this, Vortex also offers a really crazy warranty. So basically, no matter what you do to this thing, they're going to fix it, no questions asked. So you throw it across the road, you drop your gun, whatever happens, if it breaks, they'll fix it. They'll even fix it if a BB smashes the glass. And I think that's the biggest, most important thing, because there's one thing about putting those protectors in front of your thing, but if you want a perfectly clear, crystal clear image in front of your optic, then you don't want to do that. So that's why I elect to go for something like this. So we'll open it up and see what we have. Sticker wasn't on very tight. You are Vortex Nation with an instruction manual. There you go. I think that looks pretty nice. Inside the instruction manual is a microfiber cloth. Those are always appreciated. Basically just goes over all the basic stuff. It says here, brightness setting will last at medium at the middle setting for 50,000 hours. So I think that's going to be more than enough for your 20-minute average airsoft skirmish. Comes with the battery. Looks to be a CR2032 common battery type. Off to the side, we have a, looks to me like a low-profile mount. So mounted to the optic, I'm going to assume is the raised mount. Sorry about that. That's kind of nice. Have the unit itself. We'll get to that in just a second. Hex key, Allen key, whatever you want to call it, and spare screws for the base here. I'm going to take this out, put that to the side, so there you have it. It's small, it's really light. I mean, I was expecting it to be light, but I wasn't really expecting it to be this light. Another thing to note is when you get to your extremely cheap optics, like your Wish optics, those are going to be made out of plastic typically. Then you'll start getting into your like airsoft tier ones or low-end firearms like NC Star or like, I don't know, like Bushnell or something like that. They're all going to be made out of metal, but it's usually pot metal. I think this one is made out of aluminum. Yeah, so you can see here too that the 4 screws there. If you want to take this riser off and put this one on, you can. That'll let it sit very close to the rail of the gun if you want a really low profile mount. See through the bottom here. So if you wanted to put like, what do you call those? Irons, I guess you could have like a co-witness kind of situation going on. Rubber cap, nice, I guess, for protection. Put that back in there. Yeah, it's really nice. So one side is clearly red. That's the side that goes towards the target. One side is clear. Sleek, low. It's a similar style to the Aimpoint T1 and T2. If you've ever seen those, just like nice low profile, light. We're gonna put the battery in. See if I can do this with my fingers here. Yeah, comes off easy enough. Tighten that down with a flathead in a moment here. Yeah, we'll do that with a flathead one later for when I actually put it on the gun. So we'll try turning it on. Doesn't seem to be turning on. It's really tight. Oh, it goes that way. So yeah, it seems like there's some sort of... if you have it on the 0, you can only go to the lowest setting. You can't go up to the highest setting. I'm not sure if I'm the happiest with that, but it's not really a problem. And yeah, so it's got 2 lowest settings, say N1 and N2. That's going to be your night vision settings. So if I look through there, I can't see anything. Yeah, it's really... No, yeah, you can't see anything at all. So you'll only be able to see through those if you're looking through something that amplifies light, like a night vision camera. Let's go to 3. See what the lowest setting I can see. It's a pretty bright room. 4 I can see it, but very, very, very faint. 5, 6. So 6 is what they say the medium is, and in this bright room, it's very small, but it's viewable. I would probably turn it up higher in this kind of setting, but I think in an indoor CQB setting, you could get away with that. Yeah, see, that's very bright. I don't even think you need to put it that high. I'd say 9 is good enough for outdoors. Putting all the way to 11. Yeah, if you look down, 11 is very bright. It's definitely distorting a bit, and you can see the laser reflecting back. If you look down the front, you can see the LED actually on the bottom side. So that might be an issue if you're looking, if you think your opponent might be able to see that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but might be an issue if you think your opponent might be able to see that. But it would have to be a very dark room, and it would be a very small, very close situation for that to be an issue. I know on some cheaper optics, you can definitely tell, especially on the fake holographics, you can see very clearly if you're looking straight on at it. So, in addition to those, and yeah, so if you turn it this way, you can't turn it from 0 to max. It's blocked off. So we'll go back. We'll turn that off. There we go. Here you got your adjustment turrets. We'll try taking those off. They spin off very easily. Turn. Yeah, they're good. What's nice, I like this. I've always liked it when companies do this and they let you turn the adjustments with the cap itself. I think that's a very good feature. One thing, going back to the dial, some of my other Vortex optics, they have buttons instead of like a rotational turret, and I think the buttons are a little better. Personally, it's easier to do with gloves. This is pretty stiff, and I know it'll break in, but yeah, it's easier to push the buttons than it is to do this. And there's something to be said about being able to accidentally turn your optic off, but it's very hard. You have to hold down. It's usually a little combination you have to do to turn it off, whereas this is just rotates. I like the buttons more, but it's not a big deal at all. So let's go ahead and mount this. I've got my MP7 here. We're going to try it on that. See how that looks. Turn all the way. It's got little springs there that hold it in place. See, I kind of like that. Lets you easily adjust it. put that on there. Lock that down. Not too tight because it might not be the perfect spot for it, but I think that looks pretty good. Really easy installation, as with any red dot. And I also said earlier this was a hex key, but it's actually a Torx. It looks like a T5 or a T10 as opposed to like a 4 or 3 millimeter hex key. Magnetized. Lock that in place. That's pretty good. Alright, so it doesn't add a lot of weight to the gun. The gun's already pretty light. I kind of like using this platform to see how much something adds on. I mean, a bigger rifle's not going to add on too much. You're not going to notice it at all, but something like this you'll definitely notice when there's additional weight on. But it doesn't really feel like there's anything else there. That's kind of why I wanted something like this, is because it's so low profile, it's easy to acquire the target. I took the stock off this the other day just to see how it runs without a stock. I think it's pretty cool. Really nice as like a sidearm if you're using like a DMR or something, or whatever kind of layout you want. Pretty easy to acquire the target. We're just going to point this around. Got no mag. We'll turn that on. We'll turn that on to 9 again. Just see how quickly we can acquire different points around the room. See, I think that's pretty nice. Yeah, it's really clear. Well, you can see. We'll see if we'll hold that up there. Maybe through the side camera too. So I'm going to take this outside, and we're going to do some testing and see how I like it. I'm not going to do any shooting. It's a little close to the road, but you know, we'll just we'll see how it handles with some other kit. So, got some footage up here. Just came back inside. You'll be able to see. Did some playing around. I compared it to my holographic, and there's not really much to say. I mean, anything that I've gone over out here is basically the same as outside. You can definitely tell that the brightness setting needs to be turned up, lower when it's this sunny. It's a beautiful spring day, and it's kind of hard to see. But that's not really a big deal. Most of the issues that I have with this optic are not big deals. They're small things that are really just quality of life things that you could probably get fixed on an even more expensive optic. But as I said before, the warranty and everything is the reason why you go with Vortex in general. The biggest complaint is what I said before. I wish there was buttons instead of a dial, but you're going for low profile, and the buttons are usually facing back. You don't want them on the side and facing forward, so I can't really complain about that. It's just a small nitpick. Other than that, it does everything you want it to do. It's not going to be, it's not big, it's not flashy, it doesn't, you know, it's not a holographic, but it's a red dot. It'll help you. It's not adding any weight to your gun. It's going to help you acquire targets faster while being high quality, built extremely well, and if something does happen to it, Vortex will cover it. So that's basically the reason why I would go with something like this for airsoft. I mean, obviously you want, like, if you're shooting real guns, there's more of an advantage for doing something like this. You wouldn't want to use the cheaper optics anyways. So that's that. That's the Vortex Crossfire II little feature overview. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's something else that you want to know, just shoot me a comment or a question down in the comments, sorry, and I'll see what I can answer. And yeah, I hope that's good. Again, like and subscribe. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day.